Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back for a Friday edition of the Steel City Sports Report, where we talk everything Steelers, Penguins, and Pirates. I am your host, Brady Vini. We are here wrapping up the week on the channel, and I'm going to come out and be quite honest with you. For all we've been through this week, all the news stories, Steelers training camp, Cam Heyward, the Bucks, yada, 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 so on and so forth. This is a pretty lackluster ending to the week. The Pittsburgh Steelers, they are on their way. As a matter of fact, they are either airborne or should be touching down right about now in Duval ahead of their preseason game tomorrow. The Pittsburgh Pirates, they were in action last night, routing the Cincinnati Reds 7-0, and they will be in action again here coming up in a little over an hour. And per usual, Pittsburgh Penguins, nothing really going on that front. Radio silence, nothing to really talk about there. So we're going to wing it today. Not too much to talk about. It's going to be a nice, quick, sweet, and easy ending to the week. And then we can all tune in tomorrow night and watch our beloved black and gold Steelers finally get back on a real football field. First thing is first, if you are new here to the channel, please subscribe and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, feel free to leave a like, comment, and share this live stream. The comment section here, you can leave any thoughts, questions, or opinions that you may have. I can pop those up on screen at a moment's notice. Don't be shy. Get whatever you want to say in there today, and that'll help carry along what would be a slow live stream here tonight, a slow one, but a short and quick one at the same time. Also, give me a follow on the following social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and X at Steel City SR, same username as the YouTube channel. And be sure to tune back in later tonight for a Friday edition of SCSR 60, the new 60-second or less news video that we have been dropping since the beginning of last week. To begin today's news, we are going to go to the baseball team and the Pittsburgh Pirates. They are pretty much the top news story today, with the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling down to Jacksonville today. Let's start with the Buccos. Last night, taking on the Cincinnati Reds and their former third baseman who just got traded last week at the trade deadline, Ke'Bryan Hayes. And Paul Skenes on the mound. It was a Skenes day, and coming out of a Giant series in which they lost the final 2 games of that 3-game set, you come into this 4-game series against Cincinnati, a division rival, and you do not really expect too much of anything from the ball club, but give them credit. Sometimes they actually do show up to work, and they do put on a bit of a show. Last night, they got the game rolling right away. Bottom of the first inning, Brian Reynolds gets the boys on the board with a 1-0 Oppo bomb to left field. Then a little bit later on in that inning, Bucks get some runners on base. Jared Triolo, who knew that he could swing the bat as the replacement of Ke'Bryan Hayes. A clutch RBI 2-run single up the middle. Then we fast forward a little bit to the top of the third inning, and as mentioned, Ke'Bryan Hayes making his return to Pittsburgh. Honestly, a little bit shocked that they gave him a tribute video. Kind of weird seeing how, to begin the video, they show Hayes hitting a home run. We all know that he didn't do too much of that during his time here in Pittsburgh. But hey, time flies by. You forget that since he got drafted, spent a total of 10 years here in Pittsburgh. So I thought it was cool that they gave him a, video tribute. It caught me off guard. I didn't know if they were going to do one or not. And also credit to the fans there in attendance. No one really focused on the bad stuff, especially near the end of his tenure here and all the slumps he had. The fans, for the most part, they are giving him a standing ovation in his one of now what's probably going to be many returns to PNC Park as a member of the Cincinnati Reds. He did also in that first at-bat of the game when he got that tribute single off of Paul Skenes. I said near the ending of last night's live stream that, hey, watch Ke'Bryan Hayes now all of a sudden go on a tear in this series and get a hit or a home run, something like that off of Skenes. He goes right out there at Paul and gets a nice single right through the left side of the infield. So, except for when he plays us, wish Key nothing but the best. Going forward a little bit ahead in the game again, more run support for Paul Skenes. Spencer Horwitz, he is slowly becoming a constant RBI guy here for the Buccos. He comes up to the plate, simplified approach, will poke it to the opposite field if he needs to. He's not hitting for power like what you would want to see out of power position like first base, but I'll admit it, he's playing gap to gap here. Smart approach at the plate. I'm starting to like it. Maybe I still view him as a platoon guy here, but maybe there's a little something in there with Horwitz that can be a regular contributor to this lineup on a night in, night out basis. On to the bottom of the sixth inning, O'Neal Cruz grounds out to second base. Spencer Horwitz scored from third, so that made it 5-0 Pirates. By then, that was the end of Paul Skenes' night. As you see there on the screen, 6 innings pitched, gave up just 7 hits, no runs allowed, no walks, and 8 strikeouts. On the year now, Skenes, 24 starts, a 7-8 record. We're slowly trickling back to 500. If you would have, told me that a couple of months ago, I would have said this team is just so bad around him that he will not even sniff 500. But wow, all of a sudden, he's slowly creeping back into that Cy Young race with Zach Wheeler of the Phillies. Maybe so. Even though Skenes is on a terrible team and Wheeler is on a most likely postseason bound team, Skenes giving him a run for his money, and maybe we'll actually see some history here where you see a pitcher with maybe a losing record, if not a 500 record, win the Cy Young. I hope that the voters on that award are able to see past the numbers and see that Skenes is literally a one-man team out there on most nights. Also, about his performance last night, Skenes, 97 pitches, 69 of those for strikes. So he had some great stuff out there. I saw him dot a couple of fastballs 100 miles an hour. He was out there to shut down anyone who stepped up to the plate against him. Now on the season, Skenes this year, a 194 ERA. Last year in 23 starts, he had a 196 ERA, a career ERA below 2, unheard of. 162 strikeouts this year, damn near, 090 whip. Crazy stuff that we are very, very fortunate to see from Skenes. It's, just got to imagine maybe there's a way that somehow the team could, be a little bit better around him, but we're not going to hold our breath there. You're talking about building a team around this guy, generational talent, probably one of the best pitchers we've ever seen. You're crazy. Wrapping up last night's game, Henry Davis then in the later innings, he hit a 2-run bomb, his first home run since June 7th. That made it 7-0. And he entered last night in an 1 for 39 skid, something like that. Was 2 for 3 last night with 2 runs and 2 RBIs off of that home run. So maybe Henry Davis can, kind of like how we talked about Aaron Rodgers mentioning about Roman Wilson on the Steelers, maybe Henry Davis getting out of his head a little bit. I think he puts a ton of pressure on himself and he wants to help the team so bad that he tries too hard. Maybe something last night is we can say, all right, you did this. Let's baby steps here. Let's improve upon it. Get that career batting average up over 200 here. And that ended up being the final score last night, 7-0. Actually, one more stat there on the Henry Davis home run from last night. He now, I believe, has 5 home runs on the season, does Hank. That is now tied for 4th on the Pirates. It is August 8th, and the 4th highest home run hitter for the Buccos has 5 home runs. Hats off to you there, Ben Cherington. Way to build out the offense there, I'm telling you. Looking ahead to tonight, I got AT&T, or wow, that's a throwback from a couple of years ago, AT&T Sportsnet, Pittsburgh Sportsnet, on here to my right, watching some Pony League World Series action there. If you're looking for the ball game on that channel here tonight, you will not find it. The Bucks in action against the Reds, Game 2 of that series tonight on Apple TV Plus. So make sure you're all squared away there to watch the ball game tonight. 3 more games left to go in this series. The lineup tonight for the Buccos: Mitch Keller on the bump. He will go up against the young flamethrower for the Reds, Chase Burns, a rookie pitcher there. Spencer Horwitz leads off the lineup tonight. Tommy Pham in the 2-hole, so an off night for Andrew McCutchen. Brian Reynolds batting third as the DH here tonight. O'Neal Cruz clean up in center field. Jack Sawinski all the way up in the 5-hole. He is in right field. Jared Triolo bats sixth and plays shortstop. Liover Peguero, second base, batting seventh tonight. Henry Davis does the catching. And, of course, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa rounding out the lineup, playing at third base. A Bucko Luau weekend there for the Bucks, so maybe they'll have a tiny bit of a spike in attendance, but who knows? I know that I will not be getting drawn in by the flashy lights. Hey, our team sucks, but you want a Hawaiian shirt? Come and get it. Whatever. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, going to move fairly quickly here through the live stream here tonight. Not too much to talk about. And when there's not too much to talk about, you rehash some topics from previous days. And, you know, this is a big enough topic, at least right now. I think probably a week or two from now, we will forget that this whole thing ever even happened. But we are still going to talk about the Cam Heyward contract situation. If you have been living under a rock for the past 24 hours, all of a sudden, it wouldn't have been a Steelers training camp without a little bit of drama. Cam Heyward and Chris Boswell, but we're going to focus on Cam here. Both of those men seeking pay raises for the production that they had last season. Heyward looking to get a little bit extra guaranteed money transferred from next year in the last year of his contract to this year, just in case his play was to decline to the point where the team was going to cut him and he would not see X amount of millions of dollars. So Cam wanting a little bit of cheddar slid up to this year. Boz, I assume he's going to be looking for a new contract to become one of the highest paid kickers in the NFL. Just a couple of, just a bit of a recap of what all happened yesterday with Cam specifically, and a couple new things that we have learned since last night's stream. Heyward scheduled to make $14.75 million this season, but he has already made 13.45 of that, having been on the roster. He earned a bonus in March for being on the roster, so he's only making $1 million and change this year. He wants, I would assume, somewhere maybe around the $5 million range, slid up from next year's salary to this year just to cover his ass. Love Cam. He is underpaid. If you look at the list of highest paid defensive linemen in the NFL right now, since Cam signed his contract extension last year, the market has reset pretty significantly, and I'll give him credit. If I had an all-pro season after, coming off a bad year, I would want some extra money too. However, I also understand the Steelers side of this. Cam, you're the one who signed this extension last year. That means, you, instead of betting on yourself in the last year of your deal, you took the extension, wanted to secure yourself long-term future just in case things didn't pan out last year. Now, even though you're underpaid, you got to realize that, we aren't just going to pay everyone what they want because they overachieved their current contract. You signed the deal, time to play under it. Honestly, I'm sort of conflicted on this. I understand all sides of this matter. Cam, Boz, the Steelers, how the fans feel about it. I understand everybody's side of it. And what I think is going to happen is that because of the Steelers, $35 million-ish in cap space, Cam's going to end up getting a couple $1 million slid up to this year just to, squash any, minor grievances. But if you're the Steelers, I also understand if you want to say, Cam, you signed the deal. You got to play under the deal. We're not going to – I understand that you are pretty much the leader of this team, but if we do this for you, then guess what? If someone else on the team has a big year, they're going to be coming asking for hey, I'm currently under this contract that I signed, but I want paid more now. Like, eventually the Steelers are going to need to stand their ground here and piss off a couple of people and not give them what they want just because they want it. So we'll see how this whole thing pans out. Again, I think this will get solved here. Cam's not going to play along with a handful of other veterans and key starters and 4 or so injured players in the preseason game tomorrow night. Don't even think you'll see Cam in the preseason game number 2, maybe even 3. And honestly, not the biggest thing in the world. 36 years old. Put him in bubble wrap. Get him to the regular season. I don't care. I think this is all going to get handled out. We'll all forget about it by the time week 1 rolls around here in a couple of weeks. With that, Cam, now a hold-in, did not practice yesterday in the Steelers' final practice before boarding a flight down to Duval today. Was in street clothes, didn't really practice at all. Posted to Instagram yesterday, when you take things for granted, the things you are granted get taken. And then also he declined interview requests after practice. And this gets into 2 new things on this situation here today. One fan/media member did try to get a word with Cam before he headed back up to the dorms at St. Vincent College yesterday, was signing a couple of souvenirs for fans. And I guess this person tried to ask Cam, something along the lines of how camp is going so far. How do you feel about the Steelers? Something like that. And Cam answered very faintly into the microphone, sorry, no comment right now. So Cam is standing his ground. We'll see if the Steelers stand their ground or if they'll cave. Which side will break first? Who knows? I think we're a long way from this getting ugly, though, hopefully. The second part of this ordeal, new bit of information that came out today. Former Steeler defensive lineman Chris Hoke, who does media work for the team, said that he believes Cam Heyward is handling things the correct way with asking for a raise in his contract. Hoke saying he is working, he is part of the team, he's talking to the young fellas, so he is making a business decision, but he is going about it the right way. Pretty much, I think some fans out there are saying, oh, look at Cam not showing up just because he isn't getting paid what he's worth. If I don't show up to work because I feel I'm not getting paid what I'm worth, I'd get fired. Why isn't there a fire lit under Cam's ass here? He's still there. He's showing up. He just isn't taking part of the team, portions of practices. We've seen this before from TJ Watt. We saw it with another former Steeler, Deontay Johnson, before. He's there doing his own thing off to the side. Maybe takes a day or 2 off, but hey, seniority rules here. He's been there forever. He's been the hardest worker since he, put on a Steeler helmet for the first time. Leader of the team, consummate, professional, what it means to be a Steeler. And, like I said, helping the young fellas along and all that. No worries yet. All right, ladies and gentlemen, going to keep things moving along here. Let's get into the more Pittsburgh news segment of the program, and we're just going to stick with the Steelers here for a hot second. As I said, the Steelers, if I had to guess right now, they are maybe on airborne, heading to Duval right now, or have just touched down in Jacksonville. Photos here of the Steelers boarding the plane at Pittsburgh International this just about an hour ago, so they are airborne, you would think right now. Sick shirt there from TJ Watt, iron sharpens iron. There's a look at Juan Thornhill, I believe. Crazy hat. Like, I saw him wear this when he showed up at training camp. That is a sick-ass hat. I mean, 76th World Series barbed wire camo brim on the Pirate P. That's sick. That's insane there from Juan. Crazy hat. And then there too is Peyton Wilson. Thornhill, and Wilson will be in action coming up tomorrow night in Duval. Meanwhile, TJ Watt there will not be. Sort of given a preview again of what to expect here coming up tomorrow night. Like I said, Watt among many veterans and key starters not playing. Also, some banged up players like Alex Highsmith, Will Howard, and Calvin Austin will not play. So it is second stringers and rookies for the most part going up against a fully functional battle station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. They will be playing their starters. Trevor Lawrence will play. Travis Hunter, who I think it will be the most eyes on him in tomorrow night's game. Even for Steelers fans, he will play as well. So we get to see second overall pick Travis Hunter and what he will do both as a wide receiver and corner. He will play both. On the Steelers side of the ball there, what to look forward to tomorrow night. Just trying to think of, who all to look at. Obvious, the easy one for you to say would be the rookie class, even though Will Howard will not play. They didn't fully definitively rule him out, though breaking your finger, what was it, on Monday and playing on a Saturday. I think that's highly unlikely, so you'll see a ton of Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, Logan Woodside might even get in there. Who knows? But easy answer here on what you would look forward to or what you would, tune in to watch on tomorrow night. Jack Sawyer in the rookie class. Sawyer with Highsmith and Watt not playing, and Herbig too. Watt, Highsmith, and Herbig. So your top three outside linebackers not in the lineup. Jack Sawyer, you will see a lot of him. Great to see a national champion out there on the field. Caleb Johnson is another. There will be no Jalen Warren tomorrow night. I think Kenneth Gainwell will be in the lineup, but Caleb Johnson, rookie, third-round pick. If you want to see, how he is as a pass protector and whatnot in a pass catcher, first preseason game, hell of an opportunity for him to show off what he's got. Derek Harmon, even though he's got a little bit banged up earlier this week, I think there is a reason to believe he will be in the lineup tomorrow. If so, there with Cam Heyward out, it'll be him, I think, Keanu Benton and Isaiah Loudermilk, maybe, as the three down defensive linemen. Want to see what a first-round pick rookie who has flashed over and over again in training camp, what he will do against starters for the Jags. And then final one here, Y.A. Black, another rookie defensive lineman. Has him been, an absolute monster against the run game and swatting down passes left and right during some preseason practice? Is that real? Is it not? We'll find out tomorrow. Trying to think here. A couple other things to look forward to tomorrow night. Broderick Jones. It will be, for the most part, the starting offensive line for the Steelers tomorrow night. No Isaac Seumalo. He is one of those veterans who will be who you will not see too much of in these preseason games. So besides Seumalo, Jones, Frazier, Fautanu, McCormick, those guys, the starting O-line, they will be in there. I want to see a little bit of chemistry from them, even though Seumalo is not playing. How do the other four starters fare out, especially Broderick Jones there on the blind side blocker for Mason Rudolph tomorrow night. Jones, very rough beginning to training camp, really picked it up and had a good showing through practices this week. So let's see if Jones can do well against some starters there for the Jags. I wonder who he'll go up against. Will he be going up against Josh Allen or Allen Hines? Josh Allen Hines. I forget that he has the other part of his name. So, Broderick Jones will be one to keep an eye on. Another rookie I forgot to mention, crazy. This guy's the camp favorite this year. Rock Taylor. He's also going to be out there as a wide receiver. Has, flashed bits and pieces of potential in training camp. Roman Wilson, he's technically, kind of a rookie. Maybe we see him flash there, even with Mason Rudolph throwing him the ball. Want to see if him improving consistently, trajecting upwards in training camp. Is that real? And a couple other things. Sebastian Castro, personal favorite of mine, safety. Want to see him get out there, knock some bodies like he wants to. Peyton Wilson, he will have the green dot tomorrow as the, sort of leader out there for the defense. And should be a fun night tomorrow night. Speaking of tomorrow night's game, one extra thing here. Steelers-Ireland. I have no idea if anyone from Ireland is going to be watching this stream right now, but Virgin Media 2 will have Steeler preseason games available in Ireland. No shock there with the Steelers going to Ireland in week 4 this year. Games are going to be broadcasted out there. A couple other things here, news stories kind of related to the Steelers. Back to training camp practice yesterday, the last one that the Steelers had before flying to Duval today. In the 7 shots drill to begin practice yesterday, it was said that the offense won 4-3 on the final play. Aaron Rodgers looking for Scotty Miller in the end zone. It was said that Scotty Miller was out of bounds. Further review shows that pictures and videos from practice, Scotty Miller did get in bounds. And I thought that was, pretty cool. Offense now winning 5-2 in my opinion, but it's plays like that, getting your feet in bounds when no one thought that you did. Maybe that's a little something that will, get into the Steelers coaches' minds when they solidify this roster heading into week 1. Couple other things football related. Speaking of another former Steeler here on the show tonight, Najee Harris still recovering from a firework incident that he had back on the 4th of July. He suffered an eye injury, has not been practicing at the Los Angeles Chargers practices. Picture of him has now been put out there on social media. Najee, I think this is on his Snapchat, excuse me. Obviously, he's still trying to hide it, but looked like he was in some sort of uniform here for Chargers practice, and even through the darkened out visor, you can see that Najee still has his left eye shut. And from what people are saying out there, probably this injury very much more serious than what we goes all right there for Naj. And the final thing here for the day, for football related reasons, if you are bored tonight, or if the Pittsburgh Pirates, fall off a cliff here tonight and fall back to reality, you can watch some preseason football. The Cleveland Browns in action tonight. Shedeur Sanders, remember when we were all hyping him up to the Steelers? He will be starting for the Brownies tonight, so you can tune into NFL Network, see how he does. The Ravens and Bengals, they played 2 respective preseason games last night. I want to say the Bengals starters on offense did all right against the Eagles, but the Eagles won that game. And the Ravens, can't remember if they won or not last night. The only thing I did see was prayers for one of their corners, Bilal Coney, really suffered a gruesome leg injury. One extra news story here for the day, ladies and gentlemen, and that is on the Pittsburgh Pirate front here. And this is pretty telling and pretty damning of the Steelers and their, the Pirates and their front office practices. Bubba Chandler, at this point, we're a week and change past the trade deadline, and everyone is wondering, where the hell is Bubba Chandler? Could have been up earlier in the season, has been ready to come up to the big leagues now for a while. Once you shipped off Bailey Falter, hey, maybe bring Bubba back. But Johan Oviedo, he came up, immediately got sent back down. There's a TBA start coming up tomorrow for the Bucs. Where's Bubba Chandler? Seems like he's ready, but no one hears from him. He spoke out recently to Noah Hiles of the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, and Chandler a pretty scathing statement here about his lack of arrival to the big leagues thus far. And I quote, "It's frustrating. I've thrown 100 innings every year for the last 3 years. I've been ready and know I can help the big league team." Frustrated, thrown over 100 innings every year for the last 3 years. He's ready to go. I thought that the rest of this year there, Ben Cherington, was to help the Bucks in 2026, which you really did a bang up job of that, showing that with the trade deadline, and B, getting younger guys a shot in the big leagues. But hey, let's call up Johan Oviedo. We already saw Thomas Harrington earlier this year. Let's give him a third shot. Get Bubba up here, man. I mean, everyone should be screaming at you to do this. He wants to be up here. He's ready to be up here. Also, I think upon, his big league arrival, if he makes a start at home, fans will, even as jaded as they are with the organization right now, will go to the ballpark and, get their fill in of watching Chandler make his debut. So let's go already. Get it over with here, Cherington. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, going to take one last scroll here through Twitter tonight, see if there is anything new. Just seeing a ton of Shedeur Sanders walking in with his whole entourage. Not sure if I mentioned that or not. Shedeur with a boom box, someone walking beside him with like a big staff. Boy, Steelers, they really dodged one right there, I'll tell you. If he goes out there and throws 2 interceptions tonight, I will laugh. It will be hilarious. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that is going to do it for the week. Thank you all for tuning in. As always, I appreciate it. Was a fun week, lots to talk about. And when we come back here on Monday, there will be lots to talk about. Again, Steelers, they will have a preseason game in the books. We will be able to dissect that and see who did well, who didn't. That will be fun. Also, we'll talk about the Pittsburgh Pirates and what they do in the final 3 games of this series against the Cincinnati Reds and anything else that happens to come along the way. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for tuning in. One final time, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you never miss when I am live again. Also, go give me a follow on the following social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, and X. Like this live stream, share this live stream, comment on this live stream after the fact, and be sure to tune in later tonight to SCSR60. Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your Friday night and have a good weekend. Here we go, Steelers. Let's go, Bucks. Lots to talk about on Monday. See you back here then. Peace.